Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. Today we're doing a video all about creating my own photography backdrop. And then at the end, if it turns out good, I'm gonna be doing a photo shoot with it as well. And I'll share all the results and I'll take you along for the ride. But I feel like a lot of the time when I'm shooting in a studio, when I'm using these colored backdrops, a lot of them don't really have a lot of texture and depth to them. They're just kind of a plain backdrop. And even a lot of the times I can't even really be in control of the exact color. I feel like with seamless backdrops, there are a lot of options, but if I'm renting out a studio, sometimes I'm just using the one that's there. So today I really wanna create my own and be in full control of the texture, the depth, the color that I'm choosing. And this could go really bad or it could be really, really cool. I feel like we're just gonna have to see at the end if I actually do a shoot with it, because if it turns out bad, I'm just tossing it. But I did order a ton of stuff from Amazon. So I ordered things like a large tarp so the paint doesn't get everywhere, priming paint so that the color that I use really blends and paints really nicely onto the canvas. Speaking of, a large canvas that will serve as the actual backdrop, paint rollers with handles, and then large sponges as well for creating a really nice texture. So everything arrived. I have it all next to me right here. All of this here is for the backdrop we're gonna be creating. So again, let's unbox this, and then the only thing we're really missing is the actual paint color, but I wanted to go and see that and choose that in person so that I can really see what it looks like in real life. I feel like online, sometimes the color swatches don't really look like it actually does. So the agenda is we're gonna unbox this and then head to Home Depot to get some paint buckets, and then we're gonna start painting. We're gonna dive right in. Okay, so here is the tarp that we're gonna put down so that we can successfully paint and not get the paint literally everywhere. This is a 20 by 30. Also, with everything I'm gonna be unboxing today, I'll leave some links down below. I just got all of this on Amazon, and hopefully this turns out good and you can do this for yourself. Okay, and here is the canvas drop cloth. And like I said, we're gonna be priming this first so that the color paint can sit really nicely on top and we don't have to use a ton. I've also heard that mixing the paint with water helps sort of better spread across the canvas. I don't know if that's gonna work, but here is a little sponge for creating some texture. I thought this one was really cool because of the handle. This is the priming paint. This is a multi-surface latex primer sealer. So hopefully I got the right thing. I don't know. And then this should be the paint rollers here. Success, okay. Amazing. I also got some 4-foot long handles as well to kind of be able to paint from like a further distance, which I thought was really cool. Now that I made a complete mess, we're gonna clean this up and then head to pick out our colors. I wish I could kind of do this live with you guys so you can kind of help me choose what color, but I think I'm gonna aim for a sort of blue color. Not sure, but let's head on over there. We made it, and it's only a little cold. It's really cold.
So cold.
We just got back from Home Depot. We have our paint right here. Because the canvas backdrops came with 2, I'm gonna focus on one, and then my friend Allie over here. Say hi.
Hi.
We're gonna do our own. So for our main color, we each got that in a gallon, and then to add some of those highlights and more of that texture, we got a lighter version of that main color in this quart sized. I went with these 2 colors, so they're kind of like a violet lilac situation, and then Allie went with these 2 sort of blue. We're a little concerned that the colors we got are too close to one another, so we may have to add some of the white primer to like lighten it up a little bit, but we're gonna see. It might look a little different outside of the swatches. I also picked up some paint trays because we realized we didn't have those, and we're gonna roll out the tarp and get to priming. That's our first step. I feel like we're not actually doing anything. Oh my god. Where even is the edge?
I don't know what's happening.
It's way bigger than we thought, but I guess that's better than not, right?
Should we just do one?
Yeah.
Right. Change of plans. We're just doing one. Okay, this is already going interestingly. This is gonna be bad.
It's really horrible.
Yeah, change of plans. We're just gonna go and collaborate on the one backdrop because there's no room for two. I don't know where they would dry. I don't even know where we would paint them. They're way bigger than we expected. So the one will work just fine, hopefully. Here we go. Why have we done nothing? It feels like we've been going.
Why have we done so much?
Did it get on you? All right, we just primed the canvas. It's definitely a little bit splotchy, but we're kind of okay with that because we want it to just kind of be a little bit messy. I don't know, I'm just kind of making excuses for why we did a bad job, but I think this is just sort of the base layer and then we're gonna build upon that. So we're feeling a little bit impatient, we're just gonna go for it. We're just gonna try the purple, see how it looks, and we do have the backup canvas if it really looks terrible, but I feel like we could just go for it. Is this a bad idea? I don't know.
Wait, I got it.
No way. Bro, how did you do that?
With the clamp.
Whoa.
Oh.
It's like Tubby Custard.
Tubby custard!
Let's go. This feels like a school project. Also, I'm realizing we should probably start in the middle and then go out, but whatever.
Well, we were like smart.
Yeah. We didn't add water. But I feel like for this layer, maybe not. My screw is just off.
And purple.
Okay, other color.
Yeah.
Should we try, maybe one of the dark blue, maybe?
Glug, 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 glug.
Should we try it? I definitely like the blue better than the purple, I think.
I do too.
I'm just gonna throw the blue.
On the other side.
And then just go crazy.
Your socks. Your socks are so done for. I'm cracking up because we literally are not like anything dry. We have like 4 layers.
We have no patience.
Not like it's never dry.
I also feel like we just ran away from like the original concept.
Oh, like we had an original concept.
True. Okay, I feel like this has been a little bit of a chaotic process. We obviously started with the priming, then we went with the sort of violet purple color, and then we changed it to this blue. So right now it kind of is just this blue color with undertones of that sort of original purple. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add some more like texture and depth with like a lighter blue, I think. I don't know, the purple was just appearing, there was something off about it. It wasn't giving what it needed to give. So painted it over with the blue, and now I think it's time to add texture. And I think the wrinkles could be a good way to kind of help that kind of work, but it has been a day. This has taken a little bit longer than expected. Also because the canvas, like the tarp drop cloth, is so big. It was really nice to have Allie help. She hit it out, and now it's time for me to just like lock in and do a lighter color. I'm just glad that we kind of have a solid base now that we're happy with, because something was off about the purple. I'm gonna probably go ahead and use this sponge to kind of get the texture going. I have paint all over my hand. But this is kind of the look that I was kind of going for. And I feel like the more layers and the more kind of blending and textures that I'm adding to it, the better it looks. So I'm actually having a hard time stopping. But I have a few more corners that I want to brush over, but I feel like it's starting to come together and look really nice and exactly sort of how I imagined. Nothing's gonna be exactly how you envisioned it, but I am proud of what we made today. I definitely made a mess, so I'm very glad for this sort of tarp situation, but if we zoom in here, you can kind of see what I'm going for with the textures and the blending and kind of the splatters. I almost want it to look a little bit distressed, so I'm kind of not mad about the wrinkles as well. And yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit more over here, and then we're gonna come back tomorrow and see how it looks dried. All right guys, it is now the next morning. Here is the grand reveal of the backdrop, and I do really like how it came out. I feel like I was kind of worried how it would dry. Like I was scared that it would dry like a darker color because I'm not sure if this sort of paint should be even going on this canvas backdrop, but I feel like it worked out pretty good. Now let's roll it up and clean it up as well. I'm realizing this tarp will never go back to its original condition in that nice little square, but I'm gonna try my best to kind of contain this thing. It's giant, it's huge. Everything is all cleaned up. There wasn't too many major messes. Now the next step in this photo shoot process is we're gonna communicate with the model. So we are shooting my friend Montana. I have shot her before. We're gonna go to her studio that she just moved into. She owns a vintage shop, and that was kind of the initial inspiration for creating this backdrop. Is I believe that her studio gets a lot of really great natural light, and we want to set this backdrop up right across from that window and have Montana sort of style herself in a bunch of her vintage pieces. So I think the next step is we send her a photo of the backdrop so she can kind of brainstorm what she wants to wear and what she thinks might look good with the colors of the backdrop here. It is some days later, and I have some updates for you on the backdrop shoot. So we got Montana to confirm her availability and that her studio is free, so we're gonna pop on over there. I did have to order a few more things. I feel like this sort of project is shaping up to be a little bit expensive. Like I am ordering all these things to make the backdrop work, but I'm really hoping it'll be worth it. But for anyone that says photography is easy, I'm gonna show them this video. But first off, right here, I ordered a stainless steel backdrop stand, and this will hopefully be able to hold the really heavy tarp that we painted. I was looking at the reviews and it said it was pretty reliable, so I'm trusting those for now. I'm hoping it'll work. And then I went ahead and ordered some sandbags. They don't actually come with sand. I have to go get the sand myself. But if you're ever on like a film set or a photo shoot, you'll see a lot of these, and these are really great for being like a paperweight kind of for the stands and the tripods that you're using, so that nothing comes crashing down, because usually they're holding a lot of weight and you need something to kind of secure it. We're gonna go unbox this in the basement and then do a little test. I always recommend, and for myself, I just find it really nice to do as much prep as I can before the shoot. So I don't want to go into this shoot with this stand that I've never put together or tried and it just completely flop, because that would be a waste of not only my time but everyone else's as well. So we're gonna give it a test in the basement, make sure it's good to go, and then tomorrow is the shoot. So I feel like I'm as prepared as I could be, but you never know on a shoot day. All right, we made it downstairs. Here's the package, so let's break it on open. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't for it to be this big, but this will actually work great because the backdrop is so giant. So a few more pieces and then we're gonna see how this looks. Okay, the clamps that came with it, I actually was not expecting to be so like heavy duty. Like they look a little cheap, but these can really like hold some stuff. So feeling good about this. I feel like that's good enough for now. I think Montana's ceilings in her studio are a bit bigger than the ceilings here, so that will be great. This was also great to test out because I feel like I want to use this as actually the bottom part because it's a little bit more wrinkled and stuff. So we're gonna switch this around on the actual shoot day. And I'm so glad that I set this up just to make sure that everything is good to go for the shoot. I think this is gonna be kind of iconic. Like we could do some like sitting stuff. Obviously this is gonna be taller, so I'm hoping she can stand as well, but I feel like this was a success. Okay, I will see you tomorrow on the day of the shoot. All right, here we are on the day of the shoot. We got right into it by setting up the backdrop in the studio. I was also joined by Allie, who helped me paint the backdrop, Montana, whose studio we're in, and then Anna, who was doing Montana's hair. And I was so glad I practiced setting the backdrop up because I felt like I knew exactly how it all worked when doing this. And then we got right into shooting. Allie had styled Montana in this coat, and then Anna did such a good job on her hair, which I felt like really made the whole look sort of come together. We started out with Montana sitting down first. The backdrop was definitely big, but when Montana would stand, we would definitely see those edges of the backdrop, which I didn't really want. So this just felt better. But for any images where those edges were being shown, I just hopped into Photoshop and used generative fill to expand the backdrop. I also made a whole reel on Instagram on exactly how I did this. I also dive a little bit more into how I edited the photos from start to finish. So if you're interested in that, be sure to head on over to Instagram. My handle is just @BrandonWoelfel. From there, we brought in this mirror, and this was to reflect the light a bit more onto Montana. We initially wanted to put the backdrop across from the big window in her studio, but it was a bit tough with the sort of existing layout of her studio and stuff. So the mirror worked great to kind of bounce some of that light back onto her. Obviously a reflector would have worked better, so I wish I brought one of those, but me and Allie sort of both agreed to just work with natural light on this shoot. And I was super down because I feel like I normally tend to get really complex with the lights, adding in strobes or continuous lights. And sometimes it's nice to remember that you also just have the sun sometimes if you want to use. And even on a cloudy day like this, we were still able to get really nice soft light that worked just great. Next, we decided to actually just flip the backdrop over and use the other side of it for this next look. And this was actually not planned at all, but when we were setting the backdrop up for that first setup, we realized that some of the paint actually bled through to the other side and it looked really cool. So Anna had switched up Montana's hair and wet the ends. And then we had her in this sort of slip dress that really complemented the backside of that backdrop. And we got right into shooting. I was super excited to be able to walk away from this shoot with two completely different setups because again, that was totally unexpected. We're all friends and it's just super cool to work with other creatives and be able to bounce ideas and thoughts off each other and all have some new updated photos to include in our portfolios. This was such a fun shoot, but to be honest, the backdrop was a bit complicated to put together, at least more than I thought. But I will say it's definitely cheaper than some of the similar ones that I saw online that go for hundreds or thousands of dollars even. So I would definitely try this out again, maybe with a different material or a different color combination. I've seen some people do gradients on their backdrops, which looks really cool. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe it even inspired you to make your own backdrop, or maybe it made you realize that it's a little bit harder than you thought and maybe you don't want to do it. But either way, it's fine. I just hope it was entertaining to see, and I will see you guys all the next time around. Bye.